Welcome to In Edina, a program about the people, places, and activities in the city of Edina. I'm your host, Lillian McDonald, and this program comes to you from the Interlaken Country Club. And there's a lot to talk about here, a lot going on in the world of golf, including the U.S. Women's Open, which is coming up a year from now. And joining us to talk about that is the director of the U.S. Women's Open Championship, Beth Pinkney. Thank you so much for joining us on In Edina.
Thank you, Lillian.
How exciting, a field of more than 156 women golfers coming right here a year from now. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we are excited. It's going to be June 23rd to the 29th, 2008. We've been working on the event since 2003. Our general chairs, Bob and Virginia Carlson and Linda and Dave Mona, have been working on it, as well as myself. I started in 2005. So we've been working on corporate sales, which to date has been the fastest start in any U.S. Women's Open. That is into the response of the Interlaken Country Club and the city of Edina through their support, and the state of Minnesota.
I'm wondering, how does an event like this is huge, this is the biggest game in women's golf, come here to Edina?
That's correct. It is the largest women's purse. It's $3.1 million of any women's sport. It came to Edina. Interlaken Country Club sent a letter of interest to the USGA up in Far Hills, New Jersey. They sent a team out to Edina and to the state of Minnesota. They look at the infrastructure of the course. They look at the history of the course. And they also look at the enthusiasm. There's 700,000 golfers in the state of Minnesota.
It's a big game here.
So it'll help in our volunteer recruitment as well as ticket sales.
Wow, and it's a beautiful course to boot. I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, too, when they came out and took a look at this beautiful place to play. Tell us about the players. This is the 63rd annual event.
It is. We will have 156 of the top women golfers, both professional and amateur. The beauty of this event is that amateurs can participate with the professionals, and anybody can qualify through regional qualifying if they have a 4.4 or less handicap.
Wow.
We expect to have Annika here, as well as our own Edina native Hillary Lunke, who is a past Women's Open champion. Wow. We will have Michelle Wee, if she's healthy, of course, if anybody's healthy, as well as Julie Inkster, and Patty Sheen will be here just as a spectator, who's a former two-time U.S. Open champion and an advocate of the sport.
And of course, it's a week-long event, so folks will be able to crowd in. It's a big media event, too.
That's correct. It's Monday through Sunday. The first 3 days are our practice days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, with 2 clinics on Monday and Tuesday. Monday will be a Minnesota Celebrity Clinic, and who that celebrity is, it might be yourself, Billion, but we are going to be scheduling somebody to do that, as well as Tuesday is our Legends of Golf, which will be Patty Sheen will be there, Kathy Whitworth, Nancy Lopez, and they talk to the crowd and where women's golf has been and where it is going and how it's spiked in interest, as well as...
Yeah, it has grown. It's just phenomenal, the growth in women's golf, in golf period, but in women's golf in particular. You're talking about a sellout crowd this time.
We are. Being it's a week-long championship, we expect over 150,000 people here for the week of the championship, and then we expect to have the first sellout of any U.S. Women's Open. And how we can say that is every time a USGA championship comes to Minnesota, Minnesota breaks every single record that is in place.
So you're figuring that we're probably going to break this record again. What does that mean in terms of numbers?
We hope to continue that trend. We will have a peak day 25,000 people here.
Wow. So people better get tickets in advance, which is why you're starting to sell them a whole year in advance.
Tickets are on sale as we speak. You can purchase them 3 ways. Any Cub Food store in the state of Minnesota, which is 53 stores. They are a great supporter of the championship. You can go on our website, and you can also call in your ticket order.
And it's a well-priced ticket. I mean, for a full day, full week, too. You have packages as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
That is correct. For a professional event, it's a great deal. It's a very family fun event. It's an event you want to be here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can come to the championship for $20 for each day. Thursday, Friday is $45 for each day, and Saturday and Sunday, which is the championship rounds, is $50 for each day.
Yeah, and you're talking all day, sun up to sundown, lots of game and lots of activities going on.
Correct, and the beauty of our ticket pricing is a program called Catch a Spear program, which we allow juniors 17 and younger admitted complimentary with a ticketed adult. That paid adult can bring in 9 juniors. But the beauty of bringing the junior in is when they get on site, there's a tent that they can actually go to, which they get a free voucher for lunch. They get a free baseball cap. They get a goodie bag for the rules of golf, etiquette of golf. And then we reserve the first 2 rows of every bleacher for every junior.
So this is how you get the young people into the game. One parent can bring in 9 juniors.
That is correct.
Wow.
That is
so that's a big deal right there.
Yeah, it's a program we're extremely proud of, and we like to promote the game of golf to the juniors. And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to get folks started early.
Correct.
And there's a lot to see, and they can spread out over 18 holes and enjoy the game over and over again. Let's talk about getting involved. How about if I want to volunteer? It takes a lot of people to run a tournament like this.
That is correct. Laura Khalil, our volunteer and operations manager, is in the process of recruiting. We need 3,000 volunteers to make this event a success. We started our recruitment process last fall in October, and we're halfway there, which means we have 1,500 volunteers.
Wow, that's good.
It is good. It's extremely well, and we're extremely pleased of the response. We recruited 22 local golf clubs to help us marshal holes.
Okay.
So that is a majority of our volunteers, but we also have spots available too in corporate hospitality, access control. And how you get involved is you can go on our website, again, to volunteer. There is a fee to volunteer. It's a $100 fee, but that fee includes 2 golf shirts, headwear, parking and meals when you work. We have a state-of-the-art volunteer headquarters. We'll have a masseuse in there for them.
Wow, so if you get, if the game gets too rough for you, you can stop in and have a massage.
Correct. If it's and in June, you never know, Minnesota, it might be cool, it'll be warm. If it's hot, it'll be cool. And if it's wet, it'll be dry in the volunteer tent.
But you know something, when you're volunteering for an event like this, you can say you've done it.
Right.
You're a part of a great group of people. You learn something about the game, too. And you get to take that with you forever. It's a great time.
That is correct. We will have volunteers from probably one from each state of the United States.
Present.
Here,
Wow.
right. So we have a following of volunteers that come, but a majority of our volunteers, but 90% will come from the state of Minnesota.
Great. Well, Minnesota is, rah-rah for the game of golf, and that's good for us. So if I want to volunteer, I should go to the website.
You can go to the website, or also you can call our championship office number, which is 952-938-8796, and speak to anybody in the championship office. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions that you may have.
You have to be 18 and older to volunteer?
Our program is 18 or older to volunteer. We actually have a junior program for standard bearers, which is 14 through 17. Those are the job to hold the sign that actually tells the score of each player, which is really a unique experience, again, for the junior golfer.
It is, and it gets really exciting, too, when the scores are changing on the board and the event starts to narrow down to that winning player. Beth, thank you very much for joining us on Edina. I wish you the best of luck. I will see you out there on the field with all the other players. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Lillian.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, clearly the game of golf is a game for young and old alike, and there are great places to play here in the city of Edina, including Braemar. And if you are a young player, you might as well jump into a league or get some lessons. And joining us to talk about it is the junior golf coordinator for Braemar, Gary Soul. Thanks for joining us on Edina.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
It's a great game, and it's great to be here, and young players ought to jump on board. Tell us about your leagues. You've got a lot of players.
Well, we have a number of different opportunities at Braemar for juniors. There's one called the Friday Morning Leagues. It starts June 15th when after school is out. Runs for 6 weeks, and we serve 60 players on each of our 2 executive courses, 60 playing 9 holes on the regulation course, and 60 playing 18 holes on the regulation course. So they have a lot of opportunity to play, and they kind of transition from one to the next as they grow older.
And that's great. You've seen a lot of that, too, over the years. You've been volunteering for this position for 12 years.
Yes.
So you see players start out at the age of 10 and move through the age of 18 and move on.
I see the same names, same families year after year, and then eventually I see those kids playing at high school and college level and think back of how proud I was to be able to be involved with them when they were just starting out.
Yeah, the game of golf is great for youth, in particular because you learn something about yourself, too. There's no referee out there.
That's
Talk
right.
about that.
Well, it's an ethical game. There's no one to... you call your own penalties. You don't have anyone to back you up if you make a mistake. You have to be in control of your emotions. And that's important for junior golfers to learn. Frequently, they wear their emotions on their sleeves, and sometimes get very upset if they aren't doing well because they think they always should. So it's a growth thing for them. And to help that along, we also have some other programs I'd like to mention. We have what's called Junior Developmental Golf for kids 13 and above. Those are group lessons, and we have openings there yet for people to register. We have junior group lessons for kids 10 and up, and I think we have openings there. That serves 250, 300 people. We serve a lot of high school leagues that golf on our course for free, just to help their program along.
That's great.
So Braemar is very dedicated to junior golf, as is the Minnesota Golf Association.
Great place to play. We also want to mention a colleague of yours, Larry Nelson, who's very supportive of the program, and you are rallying around him right now.
Right. I'm wearing this band because Larry has been dedicated to junior golf. He's one of our pros. He's been dedicated for years, and before he came to us, he was with Rich Akers, and has helped in our junior golf program on the executive course, and then also as a volunteer, he's run a program on Friday evenings for emotional and physically challenged youth. So he's just done a lot, and Larry developed brain cancer a short time ago. So we're doing all we can to support, and one of the things we do is sell these little bracelets, and there's golfing activities to support him.
That's great. Well, we'll rally behind him, too. We wish him and his family well. And tell us a little about the lessons. There's still some openings. Leagues are full right now.
The leagues are
lessons
basically
are available.
full, but junior development they serve about 50 kids during the summer, so they have some openings yet. You can just get in there by calling the pro shop. The same thing with the junior group lessons for younger kids. Just call the Braemar pro shop, and you can get into those.
So get involved in the game of golf. Thank you very much, Gary, for all the work you do.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here.
Braemar,
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate it. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, Edina's youth leagues also play on Fred Richards' course, and here to talk about that course is the manager, Mike Bertrand. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Par 29, little bit of water?
Quite a bit of water. Can't get by with just one ball.
It's a great course, and you've got quite a bit of bunkers out there, too. We might as well just tell everybody the truth if they haven't played it.
Yes, the sand is there. There's probably 2 bunkers at least on every hole.
And it's par 29.
Par 29, 2 par 4s.
2 par 4s, so you get a couple of longer holes. But one of the nice things about an executive course is you practice your short game.
Correct. Short game is the name of the game.
That's where
you make your score.
That's where the games are won and lost.
Correct.
And that's what, folks that are out there playing the game, they know that they got to get out and do the short games, and it doesn't take as long, so you can get a game in.
No, you could normally finish around in hour 45 minutes.
Well, tell us a little bit about Fred Richards, how it all got started.
Well, there was a golf course that was in existence there since the 80s. City of Edina took it over in 1994, and the name was originally Normandale and changed to Fred Richards in 97.
He was a mayor,
He was mayor at the time of the construction, yes.
Okay, so he got his name on this particular course.
Correct.
Has a clubhouse?
Has a clubhouse, comfortably seats about 35 people.
Putting green as well?
Putting green.
So you can practice a little bit before you get out there on the links.
Correct.
Now here's what's interesting is you have 2 flags, 2 pins on every hole.
Correct. There's 2 flags on every hole. Very large greens, and the designer of the course decided to put 2 flags on every green. The red flag is a more easier pin placement, the yellow being a more difficult pin placement over bunkers or water.
So it's handicap rated too. So you're out there and you've got to call your flag the beginning of the match, right?
Correct.
Beginning of the round. I'm going for the Reds.
You're supposed to. You're supposed to call your flag. I think some players might just go ahead and play whatever their ball's closest to. That's what they're going for.
Yeah, but that's kind of interesting that they give you an opportunity to go for the easier shot if you're learning the game and work on your short game, or go for the tougher holes if you want to be competitive out there and bump your game up a little bit.
Yes.
Great. How many courses have that? Do you know? It seems unusual.
I think we are probably unique.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not very well known, but it's clearly something worth trying. Now, it's located by the Pentagon office buildings here in the city of Edina.
Correct.
So if you live around here, you might know where that is.
Right. We're located between France Avenue and Highway 100, off of 76th, if you're coming off of France, 77th off of 100.
Okay. So folks can, 7640 Park Lawn, if you know the area. And the only reason why we're taking time to talk about the location is because of the office buildings, and it's a smaller course. It's kind of hard to see from the highway.
You cannot see it from a road.
Yeah. So you really need to know where you're going.
Correct.
And if you want to book a tee time, it's very convenient too. Of course, you can call, but you can also book it on teamaster.com.
Yes, and we encourage people to do that.
Yeah. Now that's kind of convenient because you can book from home or you can book from
Any
work.
place you'd like. Yep.
Yeah. And
got a computer, you can book a tee time.
Yeah, and that's a great deal. So that, you know, if you're at the end of the week and you're thinking, I think I'm going to cut out of here early on a Friday and play, you can just book and find out where you're going right away.
Yes.
And you don't require a credit card on that either, do you?
No.
Okay, great. So teammaster.com to tee it up on Fred Richards' executive course. Work on your short game, have a good time, and pick your pin.
Pick your pin.
Easy or hard?
Either one.
Thanks a lot, Mike, for joining us. Really appreciate you. See you out there sometime.
Well, tee it up.
Well, the greens look great on the golf course, and I'll bet the green around your yard will look just as well if you take care of it this year. And joining us to talk about that subject is our Utilities Superintendent, Roger Glaser. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about what the Utilities Superintendent does.
Well, I'm involved in major improvements for city facilities and major repairs on our facilities, as well as I'm involved with daily operations of maintaining the systems, sewer, water, and storm sewer.
And top of mind right now is the dry weather we've had this spring, back-to-back seasons, and a possible shortage of water in some ways.
Yes.
All right. Talk a little bit about this lawn sprinkling care so that we can understand a proper use of water so we can serve it for use and still have nice lawns.
Yes. Lawn watering is somewhat of an art. We want to water lawns early in the morning or later in the afternoons, so that will allow the water to be used more efficiently, and only water when you need to water. Allow your root system to grow deep so you have a healthier lawn.
And that's the misconception, is people think more water means the roots will grow, but in reality, less water means the roots will grow down, which is what they need for nutrients.
That is correct. The more water you give them, the roots will stay on the surface of the ground.
And you're looking at, every time you water, about an inch. You could measure about an inch of water.
Yes, an inch a week is just perfect for what a lawn needs to stay healthy.
And we have in the city a watering ban, an odd, even routine that's year-round. Talk a little bit about how that works.
That is correct. If you have an odd digit on the end of your address, you can water on odd numbered days. And if your address ends with an even digit, then you can water on even numbered days.
And new this year is a total ban between 11 and 5 every day.
Yes, that was implemented because those are normally the hottest times of the day where the watering does the least amount of good because of the evaporation.
Yeah. You've got to use like 3 times the amount of water, maybe even more, just to get what you can use in the morning or in the evening.
That's correct.
In a better way. But it also gives the city an opportunity to catch up.
Yes, all of the water that's used in the system, either for sprinkling or other purposes, comes from our water towers, and during that time of the day, the pumps can fill those towers back up and get ready for evening peaks.
And that's also a good thing, too, because if there's a fire in the middle of the day, we're probably going to need some water to put the fire out. If we have low levels.
That's correct.
All right.
Watering for fires all comes from the same place.
So we have a break in the system from 11 to 5 so that the water towers can catch up. How much water does the city of Edina use?
During the colder parts of the year, we're using 3 million gallons a day. And during the hot summers, when there's a lot of sprinkling, we're as high as 22 million gallons a day.
Mm-hmm. And one tower alone holds about?
1 million gallons.
Okay, so it takes a lot of water to keep things moving. What about if I have planted a garden, or if I have plants or shrubs or something like that? Do I have to partake in the ban or pay attention to that as well, or how does that work?
Hose watering can be done anytime for flowers, shrubs, as long as you're holding the hose. As soon as you let the hose lay in the ground or put a sprinkler on it, it becomes irrigation, and that's what the ban is all about.
And if I live in a townhome or an apartment, the watering ban still applies to me.
That is correct. There are a lot of apartment buildings that have both odd and even addresses, and if they contact the utility department, we will issue them an odd or even day so we can level out our peaks.
And I presume you'll do the same if I'm planting new sod. I can get a permit for that.
That's right. There is a permit process that will allow you to water every day for 14 days straight, and then you can go back to the odd or even.
And of course, if you get caught for not paying attention to the watering ban, the odd and the even, or the time frame between 11 and 5, what happens?
Well, there is a fine system implemented with this. There will be a surcharge against your property and placed on your water bill. The first offense will be a written notice. Second offense is $50, and every offense after that, the surcharge will double.
Stays on the record for 3 years. You're on the lookout for offenders, and so are the neighbors, I'm sure.
That's correct. The neighbors are calling us, reporting their neighbors all the time.
Well, thank you very much, Roger, for letting us know about these important things. The lawn can still look good, and the water can be conserved for all uses in the city of Edina. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If people have more questions, they should contact the city to get a permit or to get more information. Thank you. Well, now that the weather is warm outside and summer is in full swing, there's a lot of folks going door to door doing some business in the city of Edina, and there are some rules about that. And joining us to talk about it are Sergeant Steve Stroh from the City of Edina Police Department, and with him from the Police Administration Office is Michelle Bentley. Thanks a lot for joining us on In Edina.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We want to talk about a permit process that actually started last year for peddlers and solicitors. But before we get into that, what's the difference between a peddler and a solicitor?
Well, a peddler is someone with no fixed place of business that is going door to door selling their products or service, whereas a solicitor has an established business that they're selling products or services for.
And something I didn't know, but I'm learning in the course of this interview, is that a lot of solicitors come from out of state.
Correct. A lot of them come from out of state. They'll spend time in hotels. They might be here for 3-4 weeks and send their employees through various communities throughout the Twin Cities area.
So it's a working world out there, and the city, and not all cities have this, but beginning last year, you started a city code where you're asking peddlers and solicitors to apply for a permit. And it's pretty easy to do. You offer them a packet full of how-to.
Yes, they can obtain an application by coming into the Edina Police Department or download one from our website. And it will also give the requirements needed.
And there's a small fee associated with the permit?
There is a fee of $30 for solicitors, which is good for 14 consecutive days, and nonprofit organizations register, and it's a $50 fee.
So in this packet, too, you might have to provide a government-issued, probably a driver's license to verify your location and who you are, and a photo, because that's actually what ends up on the permit once it's been officially approved by the City of Edina. But before that permit can be approved with the photo and information on it and the expiration date, which is important to show, you're going to actually look into this organization and this individual, right?
That's correct. Michelle and I work together in doing a background investigation, which consists of checking criminal histories. We also do research to determine if they've been in other communities, and if they have, we'll call that community and see how their business practices were there.
Yeah, word gets around town pretty quick, so if they didn't do well in another city, they probably won't be able to do business in the City of Edina.
Correct.
Now, there are some organizations that are actually exempt from the permit process, like the news media. If they're going to go door to door, they would be exempt. Some others?
Political organizations, religious organizations, they're exempt from this city code.
And what about my youngster who might be having to do a school fundraiser?
They're exempt also.
Okay. And really the only way to know and the best way to know is to contact a city to see where you fit in, because there's some analysis that goes into that process.
And with the new city code, there's been some learning curve, if you will, to determine who fits where.
Sure.
So we try to do our best to determine what exactly someone needs to do to go door to door.
And deliverables, like the milkman who delivers from time to time, stops by, they probably don't need a city-issued permit.
They don't.
As well.
Neither would your Schwann's person.
Okay. And the permit, when can I go door to door? From when to when on a given day?
That's from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m.
Okay.
And they have to just go to your main entrance. They cannot go to the back of the yard or side of the yard.
So it's a front door, knock, or ring the doorbell only?
Yes.
Now, if I'm a resident and I've no interest in having any solicitors and peddlers, I know that about myself and my family, what do I do to get that message across?
Well, you can obtain a placard from City Hall which indicates no peddling or soliciting, and you can place that on your main entrance.
Okay, and that should go on the front door. You probably put it on any door, but you should definitely go on the front door.
Yes.
That conveys the message that they need to move on to the next place.
Right. They are not supposed to approach if they see the placard on the front door.
Now, you know, you don't have to answer the door, too, if somebody comes to the door, and that's just a safety message for anybody's at home, right?
Oh, absolutely not. It's your house. If you don't want to answer the door, don't answer the door.
Yeah, and which is probably good advice for seniors or young children who might find themselves at home. They don't have to get the door at any given time. What about if I'm a neighbor and I see someone going door to door, and maybe I don't see the permit, or I can't see the permit? What should I do about that?
Even if you had a solicitor come to your door with a permit, or not with without one, if you feel uncomfortable with the way you were treated, or you're not sure who they are, you should call the police department. We'll send an officer out to check them out. We don't want people in the neighborhoods doing stuff they're not supposed to do, and if people don't call, we won't know. As we talked about in the background check, we look to see what type of business they've done. If we find out that they did get a permit from us and they're out badgering people, harassing them, and they want to come back next year, they probably won't come back.
Right. And the other thing, too, is some of these solicitors will have their own ID,
Yes.
but they need to have maybe their ID, but they have to have the City of Edina ID in order to do business, period.
For peddler and soliciting, yes. For the nonprofits, they would not be issued an ID. But they should have something from their organization that says who they are and who they're with.
And that's just a good safe practice, then.
Yes. If you have a question about a nonprofit and say, hey, are they registered with the city, you can call us and we'll tell you if they are or they're not.
Well, we want to thank you both for joining us and giving us the update on the permit process. It sounds like it's pretty easy to do if we want to do business in the City of Edina. We'll have you back again next year. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Well, we'd like to thank all our guests for joining us on In Edina this month, and a special thanks to the Interlochen Country Club for letting us put this program together right here on their beautiful course. And we also hope you have an opportunity to get out on the links, whether you're a new player or an experienced golfer. Thanks a lot for watching In Edina. I'm your host, Lillian McDonald. Until next month, have a great day.